Hello the channel. Hail hail. The Celts have arrived. Let's go. 6-0. Get in there. We've been waiting on it all season and now we're delivering. And guess what? We've got Motherwell at home after the international break. We'll be back for part 2 as well. So this is just a wee lineup builder for international week. I'm going to show you a wee bit more of Sorare probabilities spreadsheet I've been using as well. Very good tool. But just a wee bit of reflection on the current game week, which turned out pretty well. I mean, after Saturday, I was thinking, this is going to be a nightmare. But yeah, it turned out pretty well. So at the moment, fingers crossed, two podiums holding. Challengers finished. All-Star isn't finished, but still projected to be third. So that would be awesome. And some nice other results. Mainly with Celtic, obviously, but just sneaking the last position in $200 in All-Star Rare Plus. So hoping they'll get opted or caught there because one position down is $200 bubble. So anyway, it's going to be a great game week. So really looking forward to the rewards video tomorrow. So I'm going to do some lineup building for international week. First thing to point out is in terms of the caps, pretty much out of it in terms of cap 270 and pretty much out of it, or I'm out of it in the super rare version as well. So yeah, nothing really much to play for there. But we'll have a wee look and go through in sort of logical order. So firstly, this tool I'm using is from Sorare Probabilities. Really great tool. A few people asking if they could have a go at it, etc. If you need anything, hit the main man up, a gal, on Twitter, and he'll sort things out for you. So this is the overall sort of dashboard and everything I'm using. Firstly, you can have a look at the overall player database, and I've got this set to basically the highest projected score. So you see this column here, I've got this set to what the stats say should be the highest projected score. So Lionel Messi up there, so we know it's accurate. Grimaldo's an interesting one as well. Should get a game for Spain, you would have thought, with his current form. If you look at the win percentages, Portugal, yeah, I think they're pretty nailed on to get a result, although they've already qualified, so maybe a wee bit of messing about. Guys like Diogo Dalot, he's now out of the squad. Anthony Ralston features high up here, but he doesn't really play for Scotland actually. So there's some interesting ones in there. Guys like Daniel Munoz, who's been in great form recently, plays for his international team as well. I think one real standout here, you'll see the 100% win percentage for Japan. So I'm going to go into my own players here. First thing to point out is that Ederson is injured, so Alisson is now 90% to play. So this kind of helps me out because I've got Azako, I've got Suzuki, but there's a bit of, we don't know who's going to actually play for Japan. Pretty easy fixture, 80% clean sheet. So if you do call the Japanese goalkeeper, then you'll be gutted if they concede. So Alisson's looking pretty likely to be playing for me. Vargas I don't have rare or above, and one guy who's not really mentioned here is Elias Olafsson. So Runarsson and Olafsson for Iceland. I think Olafsson will probably start. Get on to defender side. So João Cancelo, Sugawara features with projected 55. I think that should probably be a wee bit higher, just based on the strength of the opponent, really. But this is just based on overall stats. Kanji, good goal at the weekend. Antonio Silva is an interesting one, projected score 864, but say Portugal could easily go Diaz and Inacio as well, which is quite interesting. Junior Alonso in there for Paraguay. If we look at midfielders, so some real interesting ones in here. Rodrigo, highest projected score. Cyprus is pretty poor. Spain took a lot of goals off him the last time, so really high winner percentage there. So Zobazlai, I can never say his name right. Pretty interesting. Lex McAllister, pretty high score there as well, so bear that in mind. Kvaratskhelia, obviously wrong against Scotland. He'll get a bit of 20 or something. rubbish. Cal McGregor, probably 100. No, I'm looking. Bernardo Silva, etc. So that's interesting. Matoma. So for the Japanese fixture, I think with in such an overwhelming fixture, you would imagine if you get the starters right, then you'll be jamming. And Lionel Messi pretty high up. Ferran Torres, interesting one. Well, I'm not really sure he'll start. Don't know. He's been in and out for Spain as well. Jota, Gonzalo Ramos, I think he'll be probably play with Ronaldo. Ronaldo going for some stat padding, now that he's away to Saudi Arabia and nobody really cares about him. Savarino is not, I don't know if he's in the squad actually. I think he's been held up a bit by the playoff stuff they're doing in America. Furahashi's out, concussion, so he's not in the squad. Vinicius Junior, you see win percentage 45%, so it's not the easiest of games there, you see the difference, like expected team goals, like 4.4 for Portugal and 2.3 for Japan seems a wee bit low to me, to be honest. Just like Japan rotated a bit and pretty much hammered Germany in a friendly as well, so some nice options here. So anyway, I love these stats. There's actually some clever stuff you can do with this as well. You can go into forecast and look at fixture difficulty and everything. So we're doing that a wee bit more probably next week when we go into the EPL stuff. But this is just an absolutely top quality tool that's been provided by Igal. I'm not actually on any commission or anything for it. Igal's just a good guy. He's given me access to it, and if people can use it and enjoy it and all that sort of stuff, then and hopefully help you win. So onto the lineup building. So I think first thing to point out is under 23s wise, we're going to pick these teams first just because there's really low proportion of sort of under 23s goalkeepers and everything this week. Also, if Japan pick sort of Mayakawa instead of Ozako or what do you call him, Zian Suzuki, then we're proper in business then as well. So I've got had to refresh it there. I don't know why it's been a bit bonkers. So matches wise, you've got Olafsson who might play for Iceland. So you're thinking about Kerry Katona there. Not really many. Karl Hein for Estonia. So although they're pretty rotten to be honest. Mamardashvili for Georgia. So there are a couple. Diogo Costa usually plays for Portugal. You don't know whether or not maybe they give Jose Sa or somebody else a game after qualifying. So it's quite difficult to hang your hat on that. Iceland against Slovakia. I think if Olsen plays, he'll put up a pretty good A in that game. Just hope he doesn't get absolutely hammered. There's nothing South America under 23s wise, and Japan against Myanmar is a pretty good fixture. So anyway, under 23s are plus. So I think I'm going to use Olafsson in here. I just don't have enough good super rares this week, I don't think. So I'll review that, but there we go. Antonio Silva, I'm not sure he's going to start. Again, Sugawara, I'm not sure he's going to start either, but if he does get some action for Japan, it's a really overwhelming fixture. Midfield wise here, so Facundo Torres doesn't always play for Uruguay actually. I think Szoboszlai is the kind of standout sort of guy there. I mean, he's the main man I think for Hungary. As James Maddison would say it, Toby Carvery. I think I'm going to take a risk on Take as well against Myanmar. Just such a good fixture. I do have Rodrigo, who I think will play against Colombia, but Brazil are away from home, so that's going to be a more difficult game. And then last position, Rodrigo is definitely in the reckoning. I think it has to be Gonzalo Ramos actually. Liechtenstein, even if they do rotate, Portugal took 8 goals or something, or 9 goals off for somebody recently, so yeah. Ramos isn't a big high base guy or whatever. Taki can put in a base. I think I'm going to go with the captain there. It's a risk because I don't know if he'll start, but guys like Maeda and Furuhashi are not in the squad. You've got loads of options there. You've Ito, you've got Matoma. There's loads of good attacking talent there, but if Taki gets any game time, you'd imagine somebody is going to get absolutely roasted for Myanmar because he's been on really, really good form. So there we go. So that's at under 23. That's going to be a priority lineup. All-Star Rare Plus will be as well. I'm just going to show you where we are in terms of. If I could click the right buttons, that'd be good. So the 270, we're pretty high up here, 23rd. So that's pretty good. Prize pool wise, just pushing on top 20. So at the moment, tier 1 rare and tier 4 super rare. But if we manage to get ourselves up another slot here, it's into tier 3s, or even if we get a good result, get into the star rares. So, for the limited, etc., I'm not really bothered about this competition. But for this, I think I've got to give it some priority. So I think Messi's going to go in here. I think Alisson's probably going to go in here as well. It's an interesting one because there's one-off game week rewards as well, but it's a nice position to be defending there. So there we go. And I can still use Olofsson, or I can take a punt on Ozako or Suzuki in some of the other divisions, But I think this has got to be a sort of priority type division. So Alisson's quite a high cap cost, so probably put him in, put Messi in. Messi's come down a wee bit now actually because of the sort of other stuff that's been ongoing, a few injuries and average games, etc. But he's always up for it for Argentina. I've got McAllister play him in there. You're quite an interesting one, so we get some good players, right? So guys like Nick De La Cruz, etc. I think we kind of got to go in fixture difficulty here as well. So Jota against Liechtenstein, but even if he doesn't start, 49 cap cost is one decisive to beat that. And you could easily see Portugal scoring 5 or 6 goals against them. No offence to them, but yeah, you could see that. Defence wise, so Antonio Silva, I'm not sure starts. Porteous, pretty sure will start against Georgia. The only problem with Scotland is that, we've qualified, so but we want to, do pretty well in terms of grouping. Porteous pretty solid for us, and then, in terms of what we've got left over here, that's going to be the interesting thing. So we've got Billy Gilmore, Cifuentes, who should start, I think, although he's been carrying an injury recently, so he's not played much. Palestri's interesting as well. So I think we'll go with Billy Gilmore actually. And then take off the affordable. I don't think there's really anybody else that can play over and above Jota. Scotland did beat Georgia pretty well at home, so they're a decent team. They've got some good players and stuff there, but I think it's kind of one of those that Scotland should do pretty well. I've got to put in a mid as well, so it's kind of that Palestri, and if we're going to go with Porteous, then as well doing that. So I don't know why Captain Jota. Why the Captain Jota? If he does a big score, that's great, but Messi's got to be the captain, right? So I don't really have any Brazilian defenders either, so I guess I could buy somebody, but I'm a Scottish cheapskate, so I'm not going to. They'll pick the All-Star Rare Plus as well, so given priority that 270, which is interesting, but there we go. I can still play the Rare Plus with the old Alisson Super Rare, so that's where it's obviously interesting here. I can still go pretty strong here. Junior Alonso against Chelsea. Junior Alonso's been playing really well. Just lining him up here for a error led to go or something, but yeah, I can kind of use these ones in here, which means that I'm a bit more free to use the outfielders in terms of how I what I play there. Alexis McAllister did feature quite highly actually in terms of this, so if you have a look, I think his expected score was about 56 or something, which is actually pretty good. Yeah, projected score 56, so pretty high. I have used up a lot of my good guys here in terms of the 270, but I don't mind that decision. Rodrigo, back on form, playing very well at the moment. Interestingly, I don't think Akanji's in that list. I don't know why that is. I imagine he'll do pretty well for Switzerland. He always scores pretty well. for Switzerland. McGregor always pretty solid. Kulusevski should be quite good against Azerbaijan actually. See what his kind of stats are like. Kulusevski, win percentage 68, expected team goals 1.76, expected of 53, so that's not too bad. John McGinn always does very well for Scotland. Minamino's pretty tempting actually, because he's capable in terms of the forward card, but you could just use him in the caps, etc. I don't think there's anybody else standing out, so I think I'll probably go a bit of Kanji, to be honest. I mean, he scores very well for Switzerland. Let's see, and that's a neutral territory as well, isn't it? So yeah, he does. Expected 58. So Antonio Silva's uber tempting, but he could play Inacio. It's just a huge rotation risk with Portugal because they're in a situation where they've already qualified. So under 23 is limited. So I think in here you could do one or two things. Could play Carl Hein, but I'm going to keep Hein for the caps actually for like 240, etc. I don't know if I'll run a team and gamble on seeing Suzuki starting or whatever. I just don't know who's going to start for Japan, so I'm going to leave that to one of the throwaway teams or the later picks. So Sugawara, as I was talking about earlier, pretty similar setup. So Bosley, Kvaratskhelia is playing pretty well just now. But Scotland are a very solid team. We've qualified already, so don't laugh and all that sort of stuff. But Scotland are pretty solid. And then there's got to be Vinicius and Rodrigo, actually. I mean, they're probably going to play up front with Gabriel Jesus. That's the kind of original, the sort of play sharper prediction. And Jesus more of a guy who brings players into the game. So with no Neymar there, I think Vinicius Junior will do a James Maddison and decide that he's the main man. Love that banter, hilarious. I'm not 100% sure on Olofsson. I mean, Runarson's been starting for Iceland, but Runarsson was poor. Olofsson started, played well, and then after he started, Runarsson's not been playing for Cardiff as well, which is pretty interesting. Let's pick a cap one because that's kind of more interesting as well. Like prioritise. So Alisson's going to be going in the All Star. Cal Hein. So the good thing here is that gives you a really nice average to run at here. I think I'll probably keep Gabriel actually and pair him with Alisson. So that kind of takes that option out for here. So he's been go pretty ambitious. I mean, Ruben Diaz, if he starts this game, it's going to be a kind of a monster type game, you would have thought. Midfield wise, so let's see, we've got in here Matoma against Myanmar. Yes, pretty interesting one there. Actually could pretty much get Messi in here, but I think I'd probably go with the kind of Diogo Jota and Bernardo. One over the cap. It's always a pain in the ass, that. One over the cap. I guess could go like Kulusevski. Alvarez. I'm not sure he will definitely start, but he always does really well for Argentina. So I think Ruben Diaz captain. I mean, probably going to be Diaz, and I don't know if they'll go Inacio and Antonio Silva. I suppose they could, but Diaz has been rotated a wee bit recently. And then All Stars, so Alisson, Ederson's not fit. João Cancelo is still an option in here as well. I think he'll play as well. So, this is an uncapped team, so can play like Cancelo in here, Messi here, and then it's got to be Rodrigo, right? So kind of got Bernardo Silva available as well, though. There's going to be an element of rotation with Portugal, so you're guessing a wee bit. So I mean, these guys, that lot's out, so I don't think there are many options for Portugal in terms of the full back side. Rodrigo should score well against Cyprus, Brazilian defence, and the GOAT as the captain against Uruguay. So there we go. We've done a bit of lineup building. We've picked 6 lineups. We'll have a few more throwaway lineups, but these will be the main ones in terms of priority. Kind of giving a bit of priority to the cap to 70 here. Just hoping that actually get a good captain score in here. Under 23 Rare Plus could do huge damage if they all start. All-Star Rare Plus is looking pretty good as well. Rodrigo in really good form, so he could bag, and these guys could do a reasonable score as well. In terms of the Kanji, always puts up good scores for Switzerland, so that's one thing to watch out for. And I really like the looks of these teams as well. 23 will be pretty uncompetitive, I think. This week it will be down to a lot of these guys. I don't think there'll be many surprises based on that as well. And I think that's pretty much everything I want to go over. We spent about 20 minutes doing some lineup building there, so yeah, it's pretty good. We'll probably go back to the spreadsheet and just go to the sort of ongoing player information here, just as a sort of final recap. I mean, just have a sifty through, see if there's anybody else that stands out. I mean, projected scores wise, all this information here, win percentage, everything's pretty interesting too. Paul Torres, guys like that, if they get a game for Spain, guys like Alex Garcia, etc., probably too much of a sort of rotation risk to be starting with. Lucas Martinez Quarter is a pretty good player, but I think he's he not play for Uruguay? Really should know that, shouldn't I? But difficult game away against Argentina. Just going through it, so obviously Kanji, guys like Harry Suter, I mean, they've got a really good game. Australia, 99% win percentage. If you did manage to get the Portugal goalie right, that'd be good. Spain, really good fixture. Look at Diogo Jota down here. Expected 56, but team goals expected 4.42. I don't think there's any Australian forwards actually about, but guys like Harry Suter, clean sheet percentage 76%. So that's as high as you're really going to see, I think, around. Lamine Yamal might start for Spain. They probably give him some minutes actually, but I mean he's pretty expensive. Paulinho could be a really good selection for Portugal as well. Jackson Irvine, he's got some cards etc. as well. Gonzalo Ramos, he's probably quite good in the cap cost because him and Ronaldo will be going for a stat padding session against the lowly teams. So anyway, we're going to leave it there. We've got a really nice one coming up tomorrow night. Then I'm going to take a bit of chill time, I think. Not be really doing much over the sort of weekend or into next week. Vacation coming up, and then we'll start looking at the EPL competition. We'll start looking at huge game week with Celtic about to bash another team up and win us all in SO5. Final comment, and I know I do mention Celtic quite a lot, but Celtic cards are pretty affordable just now. They've played a lot of the away games, a lot of Champions League games out the way. Unfortunately, the Champions League's not went our way and no chance of qualifying, but that means there'll be real focus on the league games. So yeah, that'll do us. Hope everyone's enjoyed the show again. Thanks very much for watching. And if you're playing midweek, good luck and go fuck.